Hey, how's it going? This is Pilot Boy Chris from pilotboy.life. Right here, you're gonna find the most in-depth videos on the pilot car industry, and we also have the most complete pilot car course available. I drop videos weekly here on the channel, so go ahead and subscribe, tune in. Let's get to the video. So what we're talking about today, can you make $8,000 a month as a pilot car driver? The answer is yes. I've said it before. You can make $1,000 to $2,000 per week out here. So therefore, $2,000, yes, is attainable. I've done it. I've done it consistently. I've even done more than $2,000 per week consistently, right before I stopped driving myself. So yes, it is very feasible. It is possible. I've done it. However, it took me some time for me to get to that point where I was consistently making that type of money. With me, understand that I started from zero. I had no contacts. I started from zero, started from scratch. And I had to build piece by piece from the ground up. So every contact that came in, it came in one at a time, piece by piece, and I eventually had to build those relationships and build that book of business. Then the work started to come in consistently. And once it started coming in consistently, I was able to work consistently and make those type of figures consistently as well. And eventually I got to the $2,000 per week mark. And as I've said before, I even made a little bit more than that per week, and it was consistent. You, on the other hand, most likely will not start at this level, even with contacts, because it takes time to cultivate those relationships and show your worth. But with contacts, you'll be way more successful than I was when I got started, and you'll be able to skip those years of struggle. And $8K per month is somewhere you can easily build to once you get out there and start gaining traction. So now the question is, what's more realistic? Starting out with contacts, what's more realistic is $1,000 to $1,500 per week. And this is starting out until you, like I say, till you gain traction and start rolling out there. $1,200 to $1,500 per week is more for somebody that is focused on making this a success and not sitting around waiting for something or sitting around waiting for the load board to throw them a load. And this right here is really for the first year. I'm talking about the first year driver that's really out here trying to make something happen and trying to make his business a success. Now on the lower end, let's say $800 to about $1,000 per week. This is more for the driver that either has the contacts but is not working the contacts like they need to be worked, or this is the driver that is starting from scratch, has 0 to very minimum contacts, and is basically going out and doing a load, maybe one per week, and say going out 3 or 4 days and coming home, deadheading home, and then sitting for 3 or 4 days and then going back out. That type of driver is going to average about $800 to $1,000 per week. Again, very minimum contacts to get work, to get consistent work from, or the person or the driver has contacts, but he's not working these contacts and utilizing these contacts like he should be, he or she should be. So what I suggest is that when you get rolling and you get out there, try to do 2 to 4 loads back to back before coming back home. You do 2 to 4 loads while you're out there, float around, then come back home, sit for a couple days, and go back out there and do it again. This is what I suggest. But again, contacts have to be in place and they have to be strong for you to be able to set up like this, which usually takes some time. I fast track all my students when it comes to this because I provide a slew of contacts to help them get started and help them get rolling. And when I say contacts, you got companies that consistently do oversized loads, and you have individuals that have positioned themselves over decades of being in the game, they position themselves to where they control the bulk of the work in this industry. With companies, you got some companies that dabble in oversized loads, and they do oversized load here or there. Then you got other companies that they pull oversized loads daily. These are the companies that I focused on over the years, and these are the companies that I deal with. Now, when it comes to contacts, we're talking about, again, these are individuals that have been in this industry for decades, and they've positioned themselves to where they basically control the bulk of the work in the industry. Now, these are the ones that are going to keep you rolling, and especially fill in those gaps when you take a load, you're 3, 4, 5 states away from the house, and you need something to get back home, or you need something to just float around, and you need a couple jobs to do before you come back home. This is where those contacts really come in handy, and those relationships really benefit you, because you're able to call them and let them know where you're at, or where you're headed, and where you're trying to go, or just period that where you're at and you need some work. Now, there's one real load board in the pilot car industry. There are a couple, there are a couple sideline boards, but they're not worth downloading or paying for. There's one main board, load board. I get it. Just, every now and then, every blue moon, you may see something on there, but it's really a lot of leftovers on there. Wouldn't try to live off of that, because if you do, you will starve. If I were you, I'd have it and keep it as a backup, just because, like I say, you may see something on there every now and then that you can take. I mean, it's pretty cheap as far as subscription, but I definitely wouldn't try to live off that load board. You're not gonna make it. So, to conclude, can you make $8,000 per month as a pilot car driver? Yes, you can do that. You can even make more. However, I wouldn't have my eyes on that figure in my first year, with or without contacts. If you're gonna be truly in this industry and work and grind, and you have contacts, or you're gonna be using the contacts that come with the course, more realistic number, $1,200 to $1,500 per week. If you're opting to go out on your own and just start from scratch and just kind of build up organically, or you're not planning on utilizing the contacts that come with the course after you get the course, you get the contacts, and you're not planning on really working those contacts as hard as I suggest in the course, then you're looking more at the $800 to $1,000 per week. And for some people that's good, some people that's doable. If you're trying to maximize things, then of course these contacts, or contacts period, is what you want to focus on in this business, to build this business and build your consistency, and especially if you're trying to get to the point where you want to start building a small fleet or a large fleet in the industry. You want to focus on the contact side of things, because that is where you're going to get your work, and that work is where you get your revenue. So if you got some good information from this video, go ahead and like it. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe. Do me a favor as well, drop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the industry. Let me know what's making you consider getting in the industry. As well, if you'd like to schedule a call to talk about the training course or anything like that, hit the link, the pilotboy.life link, or you can just go to pilotboy.life, and we can take it from there, schedule a call. Meanwhile, thank you all for dropping by. See you in the next one.